My name is Gillian Leach. I'm the head of the solution line for our SMO product, Ericsson Intelligent Automation Platform. So our EIAP, it's a solution of three products. We have the network management piece, we have the orchestration, the resource orchestration, and then we also have the non-real-time RIC, the Ericsson Intelligent Controller. It's the non-real-time RIC that's responsible to actually run the rApps. And what we're trying to do is create a horizontal platform that actually allows operators to unify their automation landscape and hopefully reduce the TCO of the networks. There's a huge span actually. So we have the use cases that come from legacy, so where they're migrating use cases that they have for automation previously around, like maybe perhaps the SON use cases from LTE, migrating those over, but there's also a huge span of operations use cases. So in the day-to-day operations, so in the customer and organizations, I think we have stakeholders from both RAN operations and also RAN engineering. So it's a huge span. Today, if we look into the ecosystem and into the directories, a big focus on optimization, but I would say in-house development, it's across the full life cycle of the product. This year at Mobile World Congress, we're talking again about our ecosystem, which we encapsulate in the rApp directory. The rApp directory is kind of a one-stop shop where CSPs can come and actually see what ISVs are doing, but also what other operators and Ericsson are doing. Within that ecosystem, we have a number of resources for developers, and today we have more than 1,500 developers contributing code and actually working within the ecosystem to develop new rApps. We see a huge range of rApps from across the full life cycle of the networks, but there are some, I think when it comes to our customers, one of the biggest things you can do for them is help them maximize their spectrum utilization, and that's, I think, where we see a lot of the excitement. So for us, I think we always try to solve the problem as close to the source as possible. So to automate where it makes most sense, where you have the data and you also have the span of control. So some automation use cases fit more naturally into the RAN, and then some more naturally into a centralized automation, like a non-real-time RIC and rApps. And we will maximize our utilization across that with multiple different automation strategies. AI/ML, of course, very important. We're also looking ahead and into intent and how we actually work with that in the RAN in the future.
EIAP is not just open northbound to create that ecosystem, but we must support full openness on the southbound. And that includes O1 for basebands, in-plane for radios, and O2 for CAS. And we have two recent press releases, one on O2 and one on O1. The process is actually quite short. We're implementing the standard, we're heavily involved in the standard. So it should become plug and play. If a radio unit complies to the standard, then it should be plug and play. And that's the ambition. Initially, we're building out the capability, so this year will be a lot about building out the capability. But from later this year and into next year, then it should be largely plug and play. So for us, we shouldn't be heavily involved. We have a standard southbound, plug it into us, and we're good to go. Your second part of your question is, do we intend to add more? Yes, of course. More announcements will follow on that, and that'll be market and customer driven. To support this concept of the horizontalization, you must be able to horizontalize across the network. So we will, of course. So it's an ecosystem of different ecosystem on the south, because there'll be less players there, but it's equally as important that we drive that as well.